Hi everyone, thank you for joining. We are hosting a special webinar today because I think it's a webinar we've never done before. So today is going to be a webinar dedicated to the release highlights of our human resources application for versions 17.1 and 17.2. So what does it mean basically, release highlights? What is it? It's in fact all the little stuff, little improvements, little feature we've added since our last version, version 17, came out last year in November. Mm-hmm. So yeah, let's introduce ourselves. I'm here together with Hannah today. Hi Hannah,
how are you? How are you?
I'm good. So we are both functional consultants. We work in the HR expertise, and today, as we said, we're going to show you what we've got as new functionalities in HR. But first, a bit of context, because as you might know, HR involves a multitude of tasks. When you work in HR, you've got to handle tasks that can go from the recruitment to the creation of an employee, to handling their contracts, to being able to encode some time off for your employees, being able to handle the attendance, to handle the payroll, and it can become quite difficult when you have what you can see on the left side of your screen, a multitude of software. So this is typically the kind of landscape you can have in the IT department for companies that are not using a single platform solution such as Odoo can provide. And as you will see together, Odoo is of course, able to handle all of these applications. So you can consider Odoo as an HRIS, a full HRIS, but it's also integrated with other kinds of applications. Mm-hmm. So this is typically our HR suite of application. As you will see today, we're gonna showcase some of them. We won't have time to cover everything today, but we will focus indeed on some of them, like employees, time off, payroll, recruitment, appraisals. I see fleets in it, and I think that's it more or less. So what do we have for the agenda for later on today? So first of all, we will start with the new features. I will start with explaining what are the new features or the little improvements we've made. And then, Hannah, you will do the demo. Yes. And then afterwards, at the end, we will have a little bit of a teasing with also other kind of new features we know are coming because they are either still in development or they are already available in some of the other intermediate versions that we have. Mm-hmm. So just for that, what you will see today is already available for all our customers that are creating SaaS database. So for them, they can already benefit from all the features that we will showcase today. For the other ones that are maybe on Odoo SH or that will need those features, if they need a stable version, they will have to wait until the Odoo experience when the new versions come out. And then at the end, if we have some time left over, of course, we will be there to do a little Q&A together with you guys. So first of all, let's start with a generic section. It's not about one app, but we introduced big changes in multi-company handling. So as you might know, in Odoo, it's possible to handle multi-companies. So you could have one company in Belgium, for instance, and the other one in the US. And so that's perfectly possible to create them within Odoo. Now, something that was a bit difficult to tackle is when, for instance, you create a new company in another country. And let's take the example of Belgium, where I create another company in France, which is the country next to it. Of course, at the beginning, I will not be able to have directly a full team of employees. So maybe I will want to handle some of the employees by having a manager that is in the first company or still working from the same country, but I still want him or her to be able to handle department, to handle the employees, to be the direct manager of this person. I want to be able to also select a work location for this manager that will maybe go work for a few months on this other location. I want to be able to handle the appraisals for these persons that are not part of my own company. And I also want to be able, in terms of recruitment, to have this easier applicant overview. So I think that's it. Now it's time for demo. So I will let you show us, Hannah, what we've got.
For sure. So yeah, like you said, we have here an example of 2 companies. So my main company is in the US, and then I also opened a company in Belgium. So if I go on my employees, you can see here I have both companies selected. So right now I see all of my employees. For a better overview, I'm just going to go ahead and group them by company. So you see I have here these employees I hired for my new company in Belgium. Now, one of the departments that I have, which is the HR department in my new company, I'm actually going to have a manager from my US company. So if I go on human resources, I can set the manager to be someone from my other country. So actually, I'm going to set Tina Williamson as the manager of this company. And then I'm going to go ahead and save. If I go back to my employees, so now if I click on Jean Moulin, for example, you can see that he is part of my Belgian company, but his manager and his coach is Tina Williamson, who actually works for my US company.
Okay, so this was not really easy to handle before, I guess.
Yeah, so you had to have a employee in each of the companies for the same person.
All right. Okay, thank you. Now, you showed the possibility on the employee to set a manager from another company. We saw it was possible also on the department, but we also spoke about different work locations. What about work locations?
Yeah, so, you know, Tina Williamson, she's the manager of the department in the Belgian company. And let's say, for example, she's going to be working there for a period of time. So if I go on her employee, you can see that the company she's working for is my US company. But then if I go under work information, I can change her work address to be my Belgian company. And then based on that, I can also choose the office that is in Belgium as well.
Oh, nice. The Odoo office. What a good choice.
Yeah.
Okay. We were also talking about the appraisals of employees that are maybe not part of the US company. Can you show us how this would work?
Yeah, of course. So actually right now I am going to go to here where I'm logged in as Tina Williamson. And Tina Williamson, while she's in Belgium, she wants to take this chance to do appraisals for her employees that she manages there. So if I click on create a new appraisal, I can go ahead and choose also, I think I need to select the other company as well, because before it was filtering for me on only the employees in my selected company.
As always, it's like you can also filter the records based on the branch or the company you're working with.
Exactly. So right now she wants to create a appraisal for Jean Moulin, and she can easily do that and confirm it, even though he works at a different company. But because she is his manager, she can do that.
Oh, that's nice. Okay. Yeah. We said that there was also an addition that we've made on the applicant side. So in the recruitment application, is it also possible to see all applicants by company now, or?
Yes. So right now, if I go to the recruitment app, and Tina is, she's recruiting both for the US company and the Belgian company. So we want to have a very easy overview for her to see all of the applicants. So if we go here to all applications. First of all, I have here the company field, which I can now add to my list view. And I can very easily see which applicants are under which company. And then I can also group by the company or add a filter for that.
Okay, so that's why we see in the second row there, we see that it's from the Belgian company, right? And that
Exactly.
was that's also a new addition. Okay, I think we are done with the multi-company changes. So quite some changes there. Let me go back to the slides. And I think we can go ahead with the employees application. So what has happened over there? We've brought some improvements. The first one is about signatures. If you know Odoo, you know that it was already possible to send a request for a signature directly for one employee, so one employee at a time. If you go on an employee form and you have the sign application installed, you will see the requesting signature button. But even though this is convenient in some cases to request a signature for one employee, you also have some cases where basically if, for instance, let's say we want to introduce a new home working policy, we would like all our employees to sign this document. And so in that case, it was not possible to send it in mass. So we've added this possibility to just go to the list view, select all of our employees based on filters, and then ask for a signature. Then we've made also other improvements. Last year, if you remember, we've got this organization chart view that we've added. It was already really powerful. You can visualize easily all your teams and how the company you're working in is actually set up. But it was not super easy to filter or on anything you'd like, because you have only a search bar with some predefined filters that you could search on. But now it's possible to also search on any other filters you like. We've also improved the way you can link employees to a user, because if you know Odoo or if you don't, you have to know that users are linked to employees are linked to user, just to make everything work smoothly within our system. But in this case, now it's going to be easier to identify the right user, because prior to this change, you would see all the users in the list of possible users, whereas now it will be filtered based on the company the user has access to. You will show us that later.
Yes.
And then finally, of course, we have improvements that were made in the reporting sections, like for the appraisal goals, where we've got a new smart button on the employee. Basically, it's an easy way to go to an employee and see what are the objectives that you've set for him or her to achieve throughout the year. So no need to go back to the appraisal application. You've got everything you need in the same view of the employee. And then now our skills report in the employee will also exclude the archived employees, because when you are in the employee app searching for some skills, of course, you are looking for people that are still working in the company. So now we've excluded that for you right away. Okay, so now we've got to go to the demo again. And so maybe we can start with the goals on the employee.
Of course. So if I go to my employees, I can go to a specific employee, Ronnie Hart, for example. And if I go here, you can see that now I have the goals are already available right now on his employee form, and I don't have to go to the appraisals application anymore. I can just go here and see what are the skills that Ronnie has.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
I see that if I saw in the previous screen that we can go on the employee form and see the org chart view.
Yeah.
Maybe we can show the new filters options in the org chart? Or?
Sure. So, I mean, I could go to the org chart from here, and we see...
you see direct relations from
Exactly.
Honey. Okay.
But then if I want to see the organizational chart for my whole company, I can go here. So right now, this is for both of my companies. Yeah. But I want to see
the big bosses there.
Yes, exactly. I want to see it only for my US company. And yeah, as you said before, we had the search bar, but we did not have any filter options. So now we have all of these options for filtering, and I can even add a custom filter. So for example, if I want to know all of my employees who are French, I can just add a filter for the nationality. And if I click on it, you can see that Tina and Tony are both from France.
Oh, nice. Okay, okay. Yeah, so way more possibilities to search also directly from the org chart view.
Exactly.
Okay, we spoke a bit about the users and domains and the way we can link employees with users. Can you showcase this maybe?
Of course. So actually, we recently hired 2 new employees. So one of them works in my US company, and the other one works for my Belgian company. So the first one is Anita, okay? And we already have both of the users created. So of course, Anita's user only has access to the US company, and Mark, who is our other employee, only has access to the Belgian company. So when I'm going to add the related user to Anita's employee, if I look at the list view that comes up, I don't have anyone who doesn't have access to the company where she's working. Yeah. So if I can just easily click on her name and link her to the user. Now, if I go to my other new employee, who is Mark, I can also easily add the user for him here.
And we see the change there.
Yeah, exactly. So as you can see, I can't see Anita's user anymore, but I can see Mark's. And of course, you can see that my user and Tina's user are also available in the list. And the reason for that is that we both have access to both of the companies. So we could have an employee in either one of the companies.
Okay. Okay, okay. The next use case we had was about signature requests, I guess. So I really want to be able to implement that home working policy because working from home is an absolute must. So how could we solve this now?
Yeah. So like you mentioned, we already had this option to send a signature request for a single employee from their employee form. So if I have the Sign application installed, I will have this button here. But now I can actually go ahead and send it to all of my employees at once, or a selection of employees. So if I go to the list view here, I can select all of the employees, and then on the action button here I have a new option for signature request. So I can go ahead and click on that, and then I'm going to choose the document, which is the home working policy. And of course, the employee's role is going to be the employee on the home working policy. And I can add a message here if I want to, and then I can send it, and it will go to all of my employees at the same time instead of having to send it to each one.
Okay, so we really won a lot of time here.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, okay. Maybe we can show the skills report. If some people don't know about the skills report, it's a reporting that is available in the employee application. But what changed in the skills report?
Yeah, so if we go to the skills report, here you see all of the skills that I have in the company, and currently they are grouped by employee. So I can see, for example, Anita has skills in marketing, so she has several skills, and also Audrey has skills in marketing and programming languages. So say I'm looking for someone to put on a specific project or a specific task, and I need them to have a certain skill. I can go here and I can search for the employee. But actually, Audrey doesn't work with us anymore. So if I go to her employee and I archive it, and she has resigned, so we're going to archive her employee. And now if I go back to my skills report, you can see that she's no longer here.
Yeah, okay, okay. It's more accurate, let's say.
Yeah, exactly. So it shows me the employees that are currently working for me.
But what if I want to retrieve the skills of someone I archived? Is it still possible, or it will never show there again?
No, of course it's still possible. So if I go here, I can...
I see there is an archive.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I can select the archived filter, and you can see that Audrey shows up, and I can see what skills she has. So maybe I can go back and talk to the employee that used to work for me and give them another offer.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. I've seen while you were showing the link between the employee and the user, I've seen a new smart button appear. Do you know which one I'm talking about?
Are you referring to the contact?
Yeah,
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah. So the contact here we have this smart button, which actually is it shows me the contact of the employee. So of course, every time I create a new employee, I have a contact that is created for them. And then at the same time, whenever I create a user, we also have a contact created for them. So before, what happens is that if I have an employee that I create separately from the user, then we get two contacts that are created. So right now I'm going to go to my recruitment application, and I'm actually going to go ahead and hire a new developer. Right, so she's already signed the contract, and I'm going to go ahead and create the employee for her. And here we can see already that it shows me that I have a contact for this employee. Of course, I can go on the contact and add all of the additional additional information. But then I also need to create the user for her. So in case that I have two people that are responsible for those two different tasks, it is very likely that there will be confusion, and someone will create the user and the employee separately instead of creating them both from the same place. So
yeah, I see. Like for instance, you have an administrator of the database who is more in charge of creating user,
yeah,
whereas you have also the recruiter himself who can hire someone,
of
create
course.
the employee, but we don't want them to have access to create users themselves.
Exactly.
Okay.
So Kanta, maybe you can help us with her email.
Ah, yeah. Let's put the @
Yeah.
keyboards.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so we have created the user for her as well. And now we want to link the employee to the user. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to look for the employee that I just created. And now under HR settings, I'm going to link her to the related user, which is the one that I just created now.
Okay.
Now you can see that as soon as I did that, this has changed. So instead of having one contact, I now have two contacts that are linked to this one employee. And if I don't want to have too much duplicated data, I can simply just select both. And of course, using the standard merge feature, I can go ahead and merge them both into one contact.
Okay.
And now I just have one contact.
Okay, so at least now it's easy to see what are the contacts that are linked already to your employee.
Exactly.
Okay, I think we are done with the demonstration for this part.
Yes.
Okay, so let's go back to the slides, and the next one is recruitment. So in the recruitment application, so far we have worked a bit more on the applicants management. So the first thing that is important to know about recruitment, the recruitment application in Odoo, is that it's linked also to the website application, and that we want to make both the candidate experience really satisfying, but also ease the life of our recruiters. And so for that, what we have done here is that we've added a few warnings on the website form when, so that when I apply to a job, I can see two different things. First of all, I will get a message telling me that I already applied to the same position. So it is based on the email address, my name, my phone number, but at least the system tells me. And second, it will also be able to tell me if I was already refused for this job. So it's not blocking. We want people to be able to continue applying for the job, but sometimes, you know, when you are looking for a new job, you tend to apply to many jobs at the same time, and at the end you might forget that you already applied to a job, and it's also not a good sign for you to reapply again and again to the same job, or for the recruiter on the other side, it's not good to receive twice or many times the same applicant. So we want to really work on that. Then we've got on the applicant side within the recruitment application, we've worked on also the refusal of all these duplicates. So it means that whereas before you could already identify that someone already applied to a job thanks to a smart button we will see later on, you could not refuse all these applications at once. So now we've automated this, and it's possible for you to refuse all the applicants at once. Also, we've worked on standardizing, let's say, the way we show archived and refused applications, and we also added some filters for that. So it's easier for you to find them back. And then finally, on the reporting side, we've added the duration tracking on stages, which allows you, when you are directly on an applicant, to identify very easily for how much time this applicant has been in this stage. So you can also act accordingly, right? If you see that a candidate has been there for quite a long time, generally it's not good. You need to act as fast as possible. Other than that, we've also made other additions on the offer management. Offer management is something like we really introduced offer management object within Odoo last year with the version 17, but if you know Odoo already, you know that you were already able to generate offers before. The only thing that changed when we introduced offer management last year is that we created a separate object for it. So there we can store many useful information, like for instance, what was the offer, what was the wage we offered, when it was offered, set an expiry date, have an audit trail thanks to the chatter. We can now also refuse offers and have a stage dedicated to it. So it was already a good addition, but there was something a bit tricky in the flow. It was that it was still possible to have made an offer to a candidate, and then on the other hand, if you refuse your candidate, it was not refusing the offer. So technically, it was still possible for the candidate to continue to sign this offer, whereas you refused the candidate. So we changed that. Also, it's not able to, you are not able to resend the same offer once it has been refused. So for that, we just removed 2 buttons to be able to send the offers. And so once the offer is refused, it's not possible to send the same one. You have to create another one if you want to resend an offer. And then finally, another nice addition is about communication. It's now possible to use email templates within the mass mailing of the recruitment app. This allows you to go for a more semi-automated way of handling communication with your applicants. It can be useful for different use cases. For instance, you can think about you have a brand new job position and you want to contact lots of your candidates, existing candidates for this job position at once. You could also want to refuse some of them based on some of your filters. Now you can really reuse the email templates that you've set in your Odoo database. And now time for the demo. So I think we can start by going on the website, right?
Yes. So if I go in the recruitment application, I have the experienced developer job here, and then you can see that I've already sent an application for this job, right? So if I go ahead and go to the job page, and I'm going to click on Apply Now. Now, of course, because I'm signed in, it gets my information automatically. And then you can see once I add all of the information, it gives me a warning that there is already an existing application for me. And it's telling me to basically proceed with caution because I don't want to spam the job position. But in this case, I know that there's been a big change that has happened in my situation, and I'm still feeling quite lucky. So I'm going to send the application.
So let's apply for that job.
Yes.
We really want it.
Yeah. Yeah, so I can go back to the experienced developer job application, and you can see that now I have the two duplicates.
So this is what the recruiter will see, whereas before it's the candidate.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So here from the recruiter's view, I can see all of the candidates that I have, and I can, if I go here, I actually already hired someone for this job, so I'm going to go ahead and refuse it. But first of all, I think it's good to mention the smart button that you were talking about. So I have a smart button here linking it to my other applications. So I see that I've already applied here several times.
Okay.
Yeah, so I can click on refuse, and I've already fulfilled this role. And here you can see a new option that allows me to automatically also refuse the duplicate, right? So this can be helpful because, of course, you don't always want to automatically refuse the duplicates. Maybe something has changed and you want to keep one of them. But in this case, I've already hired for this role, so I'm going to go ahead and refuse both.
Okay, okay. Now I see this ribbon, but I
Yes.
believe this ribbon has been added also in the Kanban view, right?
Yes, exactly. So,
Oh, but it's not there.
well,
Why is
yeah,
that?
because my my applicants are not going to be on the screen if they are either refused or archived. So if I go ahead and archive this application, and I go back here, you can see that it's no longer there. But I can easily access them again because, of course, I have a filter for the archived and the refused applicants. And here you can see the new ribbon that has been added.
Okay, so yeah, that's actually nice because I can see in what stage this person has been refused. So
Exactly.
no need to create a refused stage or something like that. It's better to work with these filters and to work this way.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much for the explanation. Can we have a look maybe at Ohan there? Because I see she's in the second interview stage, but what about her journey through our recruitment process? Can you tell me more about it?
Yeah, so one of the things that were also introduced is the duration tracking on each of the stages. So you can see that she spent 14 days in initial qualification, 4 days in first interview. So for a recruiter, you know, maybe I see the 14 days and it seems like it's a bit more too much time than what she should have spent there. So it's really a way for a recruiter to be able to look at a specific applicant and see what has happened in each step of the way. And then maybe I need to go and refine my process a bit if I see that applicants are consistently spending a lot of time in a specific stage.
Yeah, yeah. Or you could try to accelerate a bit the process for that specific candidate because you see that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, and then also, so for Ohan, we already have an offer. So as you can see here, the offer, I can send it again by email. And this is the link that Ohan will receive. And if we click on it, they will be able to sign the contract and create their own employee, basically. But now, if I go back to my recruitment application, and like I said, we already hired someone for this job, so unfortunately, we're going to have to refuse Ohan. And once I click on refused, of course, I still see that I had an offer sent to this candidate before, but now I'm no longer able to send it by email. And then at the same time, the link that I had already sent to them, if they click on it, they can't sign on it anymore. So this was also an improvement that was added.
Yeah, I've seen also that the stage of the offer also went to the refuse stage. So everything is really compliant, let's say, in the flow now. Okay, I think we've got one or two more topics related to the recruitment app.
Yeah.
I see we've got some refusals now. I think you refused your own application for the job, so maybe we can go and try to apply again.
Let's try. I mean, we can always try our luck, you know, you never know. So if I go on the apply now for the specific job and I try to fill in my information, you see that I still get a warning, but this time it's a different warning. So it's telling me that I already applied for this position less than 6 months ago and it has been rejected. So there's probably not a reason for me to apply again unless there is, I had communication with the recruiter or something like that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so this message is also dynamic. It recognizes what happens with your application within the flow.
Absolutely. But also, like you said, it's not blocking, so I could always, apply again. Maybe third time's the charm.
Yeah. And also your experience could have changed, huh? So
of course.
We should not be blocking that. You can still apply.
It's more informational for the candidate. Whenever someone's in a job search, they can always forget if they've applied for a specific job before or not.
Yeah. We were talking about mass mailing, semi-automated templates. What is this about then?
Yeah. So for mass mailing, of course, we had mass mailing before, but we didn't have the email templates. So if I go to my list view, let's say I want to send an email to everyone who is both in the first interview and the second interview stage. So I can just select the candidates that I want to send an email to. And here I can click on send by email. And very easily I can load the template. So of course, this can be a predefined template or one that I create myself. For now, I'm going to schedule interviews with all of the candidates in those stages. So I can click on send and it will already send the email to all of them.
Okay, nice. Yeah, because this scheduled interview email templates is also available in standard. And I think it's linked to the online appointment feature. So you can gain a lot of time by using this one.
Yeah, so I'm not setting a specific time in the email that I'm sending. I am just giving them options of when I am available and they can go and schedule my calendar.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Nice. Yes. I think we're done with recruitment. A lot of things changed already, and we are only at 17.2, so it's promising. What about time off now? In time off, until now, what has changed is the time off and allocation management. So there is a new state as the cancel state. Why did we do that? Why did we introduce this cancel state? It's to have an improved reporting because previously our reporting was also taking into account some of the future leaves of someone, even though they might have left the company in between. So it was not totally accurate, and that is now more convenient to use this way. Also, there is a better usability when you archive the employee, so that's typically linked to what I've just said. So when you archive an employee, it will also cancel their leaves. And finally, we set a validity, we set the allocation validity date to the date of the archiving, the action of archiving an employee, so that they can take their last days until the date you archive them, and then afterwards it makes no sense to have them still be taking days if they are still a user of the database, right? The other one is the link with Payroll. So if you're using Payroll, I know a lot of countries, Middle East, Africa, use our Payroll engine to compute the payslips. We do it also ourselves internally for the payslips calculation of our employees. And in that case, what happens is if the payslip has already been validated or paid, like for instance, it's the end of the month, you have to pay your employees, so you validate the payslip, but unfortunately, someone gets sick or wants to take a few days off at the end of the month. And prior to this change, they could not do it themselves, so it was extra work for HR. They are already doing the pay computation and handling all the payroll, but at this time they don't want to be bothered with trying to add some extra time off for Hannah or myself. They just want to focus on their one main task, which is making sure that their employees are paid. So now what changed is that even though the payslip has been validated, it's possible for the employee to still record their time off on their own, and it will also set directly this time off as a time off to defer for the next period of pay. Then again, as always, we've got some UX improvements also in the time off applications where we improved the search bar. So we've added easy filters for the refused and cancelled time off. We've got also been rid of the employee field in the My Time Off section because, of course, if you're looking at your own time off, you cannot filter or you don't want to filter on another employee. You just want to be able to filter on things that concern yourself. And then finally, we've got in the search bar the default group by in the reporting. Now on the dashboard, some improvements as well. One that I really like is the pending allocation requests. You will show it in the database, but now it's very easy for you when you look at your dashboard to see what are the pending requests for an allocation that you might have asked to your manager or to HR. Then we've got also the time of type. Time of type, it's just a little checkbox we've added on the time of type, but it's really powerful because it gives you the flexibility to show or not to show some time of types on your dashboard. Take the example in Belgium of sick leave days. In Belgium, you've got the right to take some of the sick leaves without having to give a certificate to your employer. But of course, as an employer, you don't want to suggest people to take this time off because it should not be something that they take. It's just, it can happen. So in this case, you want to hide it from the dashboard, but still they can use that time of type. And then finally, we've also worked on the warning end of allocation, whereas before this warning was already there. It was not taken into account the working days, it was just taking into account all days. So now what you see there is a bit more accurate as well. Are we done with this part? Yes. So maybe we can go to the time off application. Yes. And let's start with the improvement of archived employees, or?
Yeah. So I'm going to go to the time off for all my employees right now. And I want to look at a particular employee who is Charlene, who I know is also going to leave. Her last day is going to be today, actually. So if I see here, you can see that she has a time off that she's already taken earlier in June. And she's scheduling a time off for the 1st of July, but unexpectedly she had to leave before that time came. And then if I go to the reporting, so if I go to my report, you can see here that the paid time off for her is showing as 8 days because that's the total days that she has currently. One more thing is that I want to look at her allocations. So I can see that her allocation for paid time off is valid until the 31st of December, so the end of this year. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and archive the employee. So we can go here and just simply archive. And now if I go back to the time off and I look at the rest of all of the time offs, so I'm going to go ahead and search for her. And you can see that the time off that was scheduled for next month has been canceled because she left before she was able to take it. So of course it's not going to be a time off that she has taken.
And also it's more accurate because it's not refused.
Of course.
It's cancelled.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then if I go to the reporting as well, if I look here at my graph, you can see that she actually has only 5 days that count in the reporting because she didn't actually take those additional 3 days and they were canceled. Another thing that we mentioned is that if I go to her allocation, I can see that now the validity period has been changed from the 31st of December to the 27th, which is today, because this is the day that I set as her last day in the company.
Yeah, and we see also there in the chatter, always as usual, an audit trail of what happened with this.
Of course.
And I see validity end date has been updated because employee no longer works in the company. So yeah, exactly what you said. Huh?
Yeah. So yeah, this is about the archiving the employees.
But what about payslips, right?
Right. Yeah. So
I think it was not possible to take a time off now. So
Yeah.
can I take my time off or?
Yes, you can. So actually, I'm going to go to my Belgian company where I have a employee, Marc Dumont, who I am going to create the payslip for. So let me just quickly create his contract. So he just started working with me, actually. We just hired him not very long ago. And I'm just going to set his first day.
It's the contract end date. Maybe we want to change, yeah.
Yeah. So here we're going to create his contract.
You are the responsible,
Yes.
okay.
And now I'm going to go ahead and compute the payslip. I'm going to confirm it and mark it as paid because I've already paid him his salary.
Yeah.
Now, what we want to see is that Mark can now, so before when this used to happen, if Mark got sick at the end of the month or he decided that he needed a day off for any reason, he wouldn't be able to apply for the time off himself because the payslip has already been paid, so this time off is not going to be taken into account in the payslip. So he had to go through the HR admin to ask them to include that time off for him. But now he can actually go to the time off application and he's going to take the 2 days off. So right now I'm logged in as Mark and I am encoding the leave for sick time off for today and tomorrow, and I can simply save it.
Yeah, that's the typical use case of the end of the month, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
Now, another thing that is very good is that if I go back to my admin user, so of course I got the notification for Mark's sick time off, and I can go ahead and approve it. Now you can see that as soon as I approved it, I get here that the payslip state is to defer to next payslip, because right now when I created the payslip for Mark and I validated it, I did not have this time off taken into account, so I need to take it into account somewhere. So now I can just very easily report it to next month.
Okay. Okay, yeah. So basically, it's going to be taken into account in the next period.
Exactly.
Okay. I've seen a button, a new stuff on the dashboard that I like.
Yes.
It says pending requests.
Yes.
What is it?
So here you see that I have a pending request for an allocation. So before, what I used to have to do if I wanted to see what request for allocation I had to go to my allocations. So basically requesting an allocation, in this example, for example, I'm requesting for a training time off. You know, this is something that is offered in a lot of places, but sometimes you're not going to get it by default. You're only going to get it if you're enrolled in a training course, for example.
Could be compensatory days, maybe?
Exactly. Yeah, so this is another use case as well, is that if I want to apply for an allocation for compensatory days. So before I used to only be able to see it under my allocations. Now I can see it directly on my dashboard. I can see that I already have a pending request for an allocation.
Okay.
Yeah. Another thing that you can see as well is that I have this warning. So now you can see that if I click here, you see that it's valid until the end of the month. So if I click on the warning, I see that it says only 2 days can be used before the allocation expires.
June is, yeah.
Exactly. So what changed here is that before it used to tell me the amount of calendar days, which is not very accurate because the time off only takes into account the working days. So now this has been changed as well so that it only tells me the amount of working days I have remaining to take this time off.
Okay.
Yeah.
We've spoken also about the UX improvement, right? You know,
Yes.
search bar.
Yes. So yeah, the first thing that we have is, of course, if I'm searching here on my dashboard or if I'm searching on my own time off. So before I used to have the employee appear for me here when I start the search. It is no longer there because, of course, if I'm looking at my time off, I'm the only employee who's going to be there.
Exactly.
So I'm not, I don't have that option anymore. The other thing is that actually you saw that as soon as I came into my time off, it's automatically grouped by month. So I can see what are the different time offs I took in different months. Yeah. And then we have also some options, some new options in the full time off as well. So if I'm a manager, I can easily see the refused or canceled time offs that I have because I have these new filters for them here as well. Yeah, I have also a few new options for group by as well. So I can group by company, for example.
And can you show me that checkbox? I mean, the checkbox on the time of type, because
Of
I really
course.
want to see that.
Yeah, so actually I'm going to take this chance to show you another feature as well. So if I go on my sick time off, let's say I want to create something that is similar to this, but it's the example that you talked about. So this is going to be the sick time off without a certificate. So you saw that I clicked on the duplicate button, and as soon as I did that, the new record that was created for me has this name, which is the name of my original record, and then copy after it.
So now I get the real feeling that it has been created. I see that I am on the new record.
Yeah.
Okay.
So before it didn't used to have this copy, so it could be a little bit confusing sometime. So I'm going to rename this.
Yeah. No certificate here.
Yeah,
Okay.
so this is the sick time off with no certificate. And then here we're going to actually require an allocation because this is a different use case, but we can leave it with no limit for now so that we see the difference on the dashboard. And we don't need to allow it supporting documents.
Now you're going to
So,
show it on the dashboard, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
So if I go to my dashboard, okay, I don't have a allocation for it. But let's say, yeah, I'm going to require an allocation, and then I can go ahead and create an allocation for myself right away. So
one day, not more.
okay, one day is
I know
enough.
you. Okay.
All right. Yeah, now if I go to the dashboard, you see that I have the sick time off with no certificate, and I only have 1 day available.
Yeah, but I don't want to show that to my employees.
Yes. So if I go back here and I go to the time off type, I can simply check this option for show on dashboard. And now if I go back to the dashboard, it no longer
that's much
shows.
better. Thank you. I think maybe a last one. I didn't really talk about it in the slides, but I believe we've done also something on the reporting side, in the pivot view, I guess.
Right. So on the reporting, we have in the pivot view, we're able to see the duration and days, which is the standard way that it used to work. But we can also now see the duration and hours. So this can be very helpful for people who maybe take compensatory days and hours, or they take time off in a number of hours instead of a full day.
All right. Thank you. So now we can move on. We've got appraisals. Let's see what has been done in there. They're mainly UX improvements. Let's start with the reporting. In the reporting, I talked already about the employee skill report. So it was available in the employee application, but we also have kind of the same reporting in the appraisal app. And within the appraisal application, this reporting will show you different stuff. It will show you basically what you changed during the appraisal, because on the appraisal you have skills, you have a current level, but while you're doing the appraisal with your employees, you might want to change that. You might say, okay, level in Python development is a bit higher, that kind of things. So now, we show in this report only the skills that has actually changed. Before we showed every skill, now we show only the skills that changed during appraisals. We did a little bit of a cleaning, revamp of the columns, how they are available, where they are available, so that the information is clearer for the person who reads this report. Then we've got an addition with the graph and pivot view that are now available also for this report. And then on the other report we've got in the appraisal application, we have now the graph view by default. We see on the original axis, we see the months, and within the pipe that we will see together, we see it per department. And then the default graph is grouped by month and then department. I believe we've got also other changes, also little UX improvements within the views, but they are still interesting to mention. For instance, the search view, there it's possible now to group by department. It's available by default. You don't have to use a custom filter for it. You've got also a ready state filter, so you can easily filter on appraisals that are ready. What is ready for an appraisal? It's an appraisal that is confirmed, first of all, but also where both the employee and the managers have published their own feedback. Okay, so once everything of that is done, of course, it's ready to, it's time to do the meeting and to do the final appraisal, so you can easily filter on that new state from now on. Now in the list view, we've got also the department that has been added. We've got the created on that has been added. Also the asked feedback. The asked feedback is when you use the 360 feedback feature of the appraisal application. As you might know, it's possible to send surveys to your employees or to colleagues of your employees. And from now on, you can see also to which people you did ask feedback, yes or no. And so if you didn't ask any feedback yet, you will see this column is empty. Now finally on the form view, again this ready state button and the possibility to filter. Also this one I like it, it's the easy addition in the list for the skills updates. And then finally we've got a warning when you try to ask an appraisal while you have already an ongoing appraisal with the same manager. I think I saw that one earlier.
Yes. We got a little sneak peek of it.
Let's check that in the database. So maybe we can try to go into the reporting section of the appraisal app.
Yes. So if I go to the reporting and I go to my skills evolution, you can see here that I only have one skill that is showing up. And the reason for that is that it's actually only showing me the skills that have changed. So of course I have a lot of skills which we saw earlier in my company. But here that's not necessarily what I'm concerned with. I'm more concerned to see what are the skills that have changed during the appraisal process. So, yeah, if we go
maybe
back,
if you can go back to the skills view, I want to show also how we clean the data, because I see, for instance, we've got now the current level. Where is the previous level?
Yeah, so right now you see that, of course, this view looks a lot better than what it did before. So the previous progress and the current progress are next to each other. I do have the current level, but like you mentioned, the previous level is now hidden by default. So if I want to see the previous level, I can just simply check it from here. And now it shows up right next to the current level, so I can compare between them.
Yeah, but indeed, it's true that it's easier to read. We have the levels on the one side, the progress on the other side.
Exactly.
And they are all grouped together. Okay.
Yeah. And then we can also group by department, so that is added here as well. And of course, we have the pivot view and the graph view. And then for the appraisal analysis as well, you can see that now when we go to the appraisal analysis report, by default, it is showing us the graph view. And then we can see the different departments here.
Yeah, it's by month, by department.
Exactly.
Okay, so we see a lot of appraisals for the research and development department, for instance.
Yes.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
good to know.
Yeah.
Do we have something else we need to show in there,
For
or?
reporting, I think that is it.
Okay.
Yeah, we have
What about the UX of the appraisals themselves? We were talking about maybe the list view in there. Do we have possibilities to see other stuff there?
Yeah, so on the appraisals themselves, there's a few new changes. So if we go to the list view, you can see that first of all,
The department.
yeah, we have the department here, which is a new field that's added to the list view. And then also, if I go to this button, we have the create on, ask, and asked feedback as well. So you can see when the appraisal was created, and then you can also see who has been asked feedback for this person.
We were talking about something ready or not ready. Can you show us that maybe?
Of course. So if I go back to all of my appraisals and I'm going to take Marc Dumont's application, so you can see that this is confirmed and he's already made his, he's already written his feedback and made it visible to the manager. So for me as his manager, I'm going to go, well, actually you're his manager, but we see that you've already added your feedback, and we're going to go ahead and make it visible to him. And now you can see that we have this ready state that has shown up.
We are both ready, so now it's time to do the appraisal.
Exactly. So you can easily see it on the Kanban view, and then you can filter by the ready appraisals as well.
Okay. Okay. What about this warning message that we saw earlier today?
Yeah, so the warning message is actually, this shows up if I have a already an appraisal that's running, but then I try to create another one. So you can see here I'm logged in as Mark, and I already have an appraisal running, which we just saw. Now I'm going to create a new appraisal, and I'm going to put myself here, and you can see that it gives me a warning that says another appraisal with the same people is already ongoing. So Mark already has an appraisal going on with you, so we get this message. But if he wants to, he can, for example, choose to do an appraisal with somebody else, maybe someone in HR, and the warning message will go away.
All right. Okay. So that's it for appraisals.
Yes.
I think we've got 2 more applications to go. So let's go back to our slides here and let's talk about payroll. What a beautiful topic. Oh yeah, and this is like one feature I like really. I remember I did the Odoo experience talk, what's new, Odoo 16, and that's when we actually decided to launch this dashboard. And on the left side of the dashboard, when you enter the payroll application, it's possible for you as a payroll officer to identify kind of everything you need to work on, right? If you want to be able to run the pay at the end of the month, here, thanks to the dashboard and the different warnings, you will be able to really work proactively. So that's already nice. But the issue with it was sometimes, even though the titles are quite okay and easy to understand, is that first of all, you couldn't customize it, but you also didn't know really everything what was computed or working behind the screen, except if you were looking really directly in Odoo's code. So now we've made this available through the interface, and you've got a full dashboard warning control. So I'm pretty sure we will see that together right after, but I'm looking forward to it. And then, of course, in payroll, yeah, this is an application we tend to improve all the time. So as you can see, we've got various localization improvements. We are always working on new localizations, but also improvements within existing localizations. And then also, I wanted to talk today about the salary attachment model. For me, there we've added indeed a new domain on the employee field. So now it's easier to select the correct employees that are within the right company. But also, it's really an underestimated feature. So I think we should have a look at it together in the database.
Yeah. So we can go ahead to the payroll application. Now I'm going to start with the warnings because I know you're really looking forward to this one.
Can you maybe conflicts? I see conflicts.
Yes.
I know it was not in the script, but I want this to show in red.
Okay.
Can you do that for me? Or
yes, of course. So yeah, here you see all of the warnings that come standard, but now we have the ability to change them. So if you want the conflicts to show in red, we can just go on the warning for that, and then we can choose the color red. If I go back to the dashboard.
Yeah, no, I really need to solve those.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So it's going to be.
It's that easy.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can really customize the colors of my warning, so it becomes even more visual, right?
Exactly. And then another thing that we can do also is that we can create a new warning. So here you can see that we have a warning for new contracts, but then I also want it to be very easy for my payroll employees to go on the dashboard and see what are the running contracts that they have. So one thing that I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to duplicate this, and I'm going to change it to running contracts. And then right now I'm just going to change the stage. So instead of being in draft, I want to see all of the open ones. Of course, if I want to be super correct, I would rename my variables. But for now, this is okay.
Can you put it in green?
Yes.
Yeah, because it's ongoing, it's green.
Yeah.
But yeah, indeed, it's a bit technical. I see you have to know maybe sometimes from time to time a bit of code, but here with this example, basically you didn't have to change too much, and it still works.
Yeah, so all I really did was I changed the state to the technical name of the stage. So my running stage, the technical name for it is open. So this is what I added here. And then actually one thing that I want is my running contracts are all the way down here, but I want them to appear right before my new contracts because that would just make more sense to me. So if we go back to my dashboard, you can see here my running contracts in green, and under that we have the new contracts.
Okay. Yeah, it's a lot more flexible than before.
Of course. And then if I want to see all of the running contracts that I have, I can simply go and see.
Seems like they are all running.
Exactly. Yeah, so these are the 18 contracts that we saw outside.
Okay. I've seen one last thing that we didn't talk about, but maybe it's quite obvious, but I've seen a country field on the warnings. What is this maybe?
So, you know, of course, payroll is very country specific and it's very localization specific. So here it's choosing which country is it going to show up for. Is it for Belgium or for the US?
Okay, so an extra filter, let's say, if you work in different countries.
Exactly.
Maybe some of the warnings you've added there are not relevant to all the countries you handle in the database.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, really nice. I like it a lot. I was thinking, is there anything else we want to show?
So, yeah, we want to show the salary attachments.
Okay.
So, for the salary attachments, basically, right now, I'm going to select only my US company because I only want to create a salary attachment for someone who's here. And I'm going to create a new salary attachment. Now, for everyone who doesn't know, the salary attachment is basically something that we're adding a monthly amount to the employee's payslip. So I could be one very common use case is that maybe the employee has taken an advance on their salary and I don't want them to return it all at once. So I set up a monthly amount that will be deducted from their salary on a monthly basis. There can be, of course, other legal requirements as well that for a specific period of time there is going to be a deduction on the the employee's payslip. So this is how I do that here. I set the start date and the monthly amount, and based on that, I'm going to get the end date that is that I'm expecting based on the total amount and the monthly amount.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So what's new here is that since I only have one company selected, all of the employees that will show up for me are only in my US company, because this is the company that I'm on. So it makes it easier for payroll employees to create salary attachments for the employees.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, why I say that maybe this is underestimated is because also on the salary attachment types, you can decide whether you want to use an end date, yes or no, because you can have also a salary attachment with no end date. And this could be, in this case, instead of a deduction, it could be a benefit that you want to give to your employee. And this is really powerful because you can reuse the salary attachments that you have there into your salary rules in the payroll. And it starts to be a bit complex because we are talking about payroll, but for that we have something special. I want to mention it here. If you are a partner, we've got a new payroll smart class, so don't hesitate to follow it as well. And of course, I think you will be giving the payroll talk at Odoo Experience.
Yes.
So if you want to know more about payroll, Hannah will give the payroll talk at Odoo Experience, so be sure to be there. I think we're done with payroll now, so let's go to the last application here in our slides. And there again, we've worked already a bit on the vehicle management. So first of all, it's now possible to contact multiple drivers by email. Imagine you've got technical control for the cars. You will filter all of them to make sure that you can find all the ones that needs to go next month. For instance, you want to contact all the driver at once. Super easy. You go, you use your filter, and you select multiple drivers at once. You send them an email. Now, the driver's history, they are now ordered by dates. So if you know fleet on the vehicle, you can see that, for instance, Hannah was the previous owner and that I am the current owner of the car. Now it's going to be ordered by dates just to have a better readability. And also we've added on the models of vehicles, so not the vehicle itself, but really the models. We've added also a chatter. So again, this possibility to exchange, for instance, with your vendor, or to also log interesting notes that you want to add to your models as an audit trail again. So that's maybe the biggest change here up until now in Fleet. It's the revamping of the contract. So now when you're going to a vehicle and you have a contract, you can change the stages yourself. So it means you have control over it and it's not automated anymore, while previously it was really something that was moving alone, let's say, based on what we coded. So now you can just change that yourself. We've changed also the stage names for better readability. We've also added the automated action that the fleet manager is set directly on the contract of the vehicle when you create a new contract. We've got also a better renewal overdue warning, while before it was keeping showing even if you already took an action, like you have an upcoming, incoming running contract that arrives. So now the warning is gone if you have an incoming contract arriving. And also you've got the employee smart button that is directly visible on the vehicles as well. Let's see that in the database.
Of course.
Let's go to the fleet application. And let's say you want to send an email to to all of our drivers here. Huh?
Mm-hmm. So if I want to send an email to all of the drivers of all of my vehicles, simply what I have to do is just go to the list view, and then I can select the drivers that I want. In this case, I want to select all of them. And then if I click on the action button, you see here that I have a new option, which is to mail to drivers. And here I can write the email that I want, and instead of sending it to each one separately, I can just send it to all of them at once.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, so it really makes my life a lot easier.
Okay, then we've got some history on vehicles.
Yeah, so if I go here, you can see that I've had 4 drivers for this car.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, if we
That's
click...
interesting.
Yeah,
And
there's got to be a reason.
Let me see. Oh, they changed quite a lot.
Yeah, but the reason, like, see, as soon as you looked at the list, you were able to see that they were changing a lot. And the reason for that is that now they are sorted by the start date by default.
I see they changed recently. It changed more than with the previous driver. Let's say.
So here you can see that at first Abigail was driving it, and then Brandon, and then Doris, and now Audrey. So it's really a lot easier to see kind of the changes in the driver history.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got a chatter on the models of vehicles.
So if we go to the models, so I can see that now we have a chatter here. So if I want to communicate with, for example, the supplier for the specific model, or I want to communicate something to my system admin that maybe we don't want to be getting this model anymore or anything like that, it's very easy to write it
like
here.
always in Odoo, you can send messages, log notes. Also, you can schedule activities now on this model.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Now, if we go to the contracts, there's quite a few interesting things here as well. So actually, I'm going to go to this car, and there's 2 things that I want to see here. First of all, that you see my fleet manager for this car is Tina Williamson. So if I go ahead and create a contract for this car, you see that she's already the responsible for this contract.
Yeah, okay.
Right?
So we take it over directly to the contract.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then another thing that we talked about is the warning. So you see here that I have a warning on this contract because it is expired. But you might have noticed that on this vehicle as well, I do have, actually, let me, so this one, if we, this is already expired as well, but then on my vehicle, it doesn't show me the warning because I have one that is incoming as well. Yeah. So if we go here, you see that I have one starting today. So I don't need this warning, even though I do have a contract that is expired. It's not something that I need.
We were talking about stages here.
Yes.
Is there anything you can do on contracts regarding the stage?
Yeah, so I think it's easier if we see all of the contracts. So you can see here that now it's filtering by the ones in progress. Basically, what happens is that before, in order to move between one stage to the other, it only was depending on actions. So I had to press a button or wait for the specific time or so on. Now it's a lot easier for me to move them between the different stages. So it's really a lot more flexible. So instead of being stuck to a specific number of actions, I can simply move it as I want to. So, for example, for this contract, instead of expired, I'm going to say that it's actually canceled.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see the names also changed, and that's what we mentioned.
Yes.
Previously it was not like this, but now we see that it has been renamed, so a bit easier to understand. And then I think we see the smart button, that's the one we were talking about.
Exactly. So here we see the employee that is related to this contract. So
so now it goes both ways.
Exactly.
Whereas before, I think we already had the possibility to see a vehicle on the employee, but now we can go from the other way.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Thank you very much for this impressive demonstration, Rana.
Thank you.
I'm going back to the slides because, as I said in the very beginning, we also want to give you a little bit of a preview of what's coming next. So it's not available yet on our SaaS versions, but it's either ongoing or it's already been released. But you will be able to use these features when the new version is out. So first of all, if we look at the attendance application, I think we didn't talk about attendances today, but there are quite a lot of interesting changes that are coming. First of all, we're gonna have a way better reporting about overtime and also about attendances in general, which means that typically it's gonna be possible to see what like missing attendances, which was not possible before. Also, we've worked a bit on the Gantt view that you see here. So now we've also grayed out zones, as you can see there, because it's taken into account your working schedule. We've got also another very interesting topic that is coming. It's the overtime validation. Let me just... Lots of meetings today. So the overtime validation, what is it? It's basically the possibility for you as a manager to validate the overtime of a person, right? Because it's not because the person did overtime that you want to compensate it either way, either by paying it or by giving compensatory days. So the first step in order to also include all of this and automate this into the payroll was first of all to be able to handle that on the attendance side. And then, of course, we've got, as you can see here on the screen, a little bit of a rework on the onboarding. So there we help you getting this application running, right? Then for recruitment, we've seen a lot of stuff today already, but there is more coming. Now, as soon as you create as soon as you use the recruitment application and the website application, you've got the jobs page, the website career page that is already available there natively. You've got also a new onboarding. We've rewritten this onboarding. It's possible to use the regex rules to parse job boards incoming emails, so which will allow you basically to extract, for instance, the name of an applicant when you are basically sending an email from LinkedIn to your own recruitment application within Odoo. So very handy, that one. Also, it's gonna be possible to post directly from your Odoo database to some of the job boards. For the moment, we did Monster. I know there are more coming. It's a work in progress, and it's the plan to continue working on this. So let's see how far we can get by Odoo 18. We've also got conditional questions that are coming on the website. So you've showed that we have got some warnings on the applicant website form. So now you will be able, by job position, to adapt a little bit the information you require for your candidates. Can be very handy in some specific use cases. And then, of course, one I really like, it's the fact that now you'll be able to define on the job position what are the expected skills for that position. And you'll be able to launch an action that will look into all your candidates' database and give you a matching score for your applicants compared to the expected skills on the job position. So very, very interesting as well. Now in time off, we've got performance improvement. We've got the display of the working hours in the calendar application. We have the possibility to approve or refuse also time off requests directly from the overview screen. So the screen becomes even more dynamic. You as a manager can easily really validate or refuse by seeing and filtering on your team. So very handy. You're going to be able to include or exclude the public holidays in the total amount of days that are taken. For example, if you want to include public holidays in it, imagine you have a public holiday on Wednesday. If you take off from Monday to Friday, it's not going to give you 4 days, it's going to give you 5 days off. And then we also revamped the multi-allocation and multi-time of requests, how they work and how to use them. But of course, we have more. So we've done also some work on the appraisal part. We've seen some stuff today, but there is also more coming. It's going to be easier to handle templates for appraisals. You're gonna have the next appraisal date on the public profile of the employee, so it's going to be visible for everyone within the company. We've got a new onboarding as well. In the lunch application, it's going to be possible to order for other dates. So you're going to be able to also order for the whole week, for instance. So you can order in the future. In the referrals, it's going to be possible to refer jobs by SMS or also to create referral campaigns from the recruitment application. Then you've got in approvals some new automations options. You've got the possibility to select the vendor directly in the RFQ approvals. In the fleet application, we're going to be able to add the range on the model. It will also show in the salary configurator. But here, typically, it's useful for, we have more and more electric cars nowadays. So you want to be able to specify what's the range, the autonomy of this car. Then in employee, we've got rework of the presence control feature, so that's also been done. And then, yeah, of course, last but not least, we could not live without this application, the Payroll one. So in the engine, we've added even more robust possibilities using property fields, but also studio fields. So it will be able to you will be able to use also these fields for the complete flow, even until the salary rules. So very interesting. Also for countries that are not using, the standard payment stuff like the SEPA we have here in Europe, we're gonna give the possibility to still generate a CSV export so that you can send this to your bank in order to make payments. We've got a new report for the headcounts that's coming. We have also reworked, like I said during the presentation already, on lots of localizations. So improvements on the existing ones, new huge features coming with Switzerland, Australia, and the next one on the roadmap are Mexico, Spain, Germany, Indonesia. So the logic behind this is we start, of course, with our own offices. Sometimes we can have an exception like we have for Switzerland, but mainly we focus on localization where we have a local office.
It's quite a lot of changes.
Yeah, indeed. And I think that's it, Hannah.
So.
What do you think? I think we will be back in just a few minutes to check your questions and to answer those possibly. See you later. Yes. So we are back again. Let's see your questions. We see a lot of hellos.
Yeah.
So hello from Belgrade, hello from Thailand, from Brussels. So also people here nearby. Let's see what we have. Let's see if we can find some questions here. No. Okay, no. Hello. Oh my God, Hannah. Yeah, let's go. It's nice. Okay, I have here a remark. I hope you finally fixed the payroll module. So here I'm not sure exactly what you are asking us, but as we mentioned during the presentation, we are continuously working on new improvements for every module we use within Odoo. What you have to know about the payroll module, I like to say this, it's that it's already possible for every country, even if you don't compute the payslip really yourself, it's possible to handle everything that's pre-payroll. So you can handle your employees, you can handle the contracts, you can handle the work entries, and then you can head that over to your payroll service provider. So everything is already in Odoo and quite automated, so you can easily make use of the payroll module even if you don't compute the payslip in there. And then regarding the question here about the payroll module specifically, as we said, we've been adding some localizations, and we plan to continue doing so. So yeah, stay tuned, I would say, and hopefully what you say has been fixed. If not, of course, you can always contact us and the support as well.
Yeah. I see a question here. Someone's asking if we can ask for a half day off.
Yeah, I don't know if we can show that really, but yeah, you want to answer maybe the question?
Yeah, so for the time off, you have the option on the time off type to allow people to take it in either a day, half day, or a number of hours. So, yeah.
Okay, yeah, so yeah, it's feasible to do so. Then we've got the question from Liliane. In payroll reporting, why do my payslip appear duplicated in list view? To be honest, it's not a use case I know by heart, and I don't know why it is so. Looking at your question, it seems that it's not an expected behavior, but of course I would need to validate that together with you. Again, you can contact us after with your specific use case, or send your request to the support when it's very specific for that. Then we can read the other questions. Okay. Oh, funny one. The next one, you want to answer that one?
Which one?
Can we make an email template in the email template app and send it either in the recruitment app or the marketing automation app?
Yeah, so this was one of the things that we saw. So on the recruitment application, you have the option to now send email templates. And of course, if you want to create your own template, you can do that, and it will show up for you as well in the recruitment app. For marketing automation, I'm not entirely sure what use case they're referring to, but most likely
it depends. Yeah, as you said, it depends. It's almost everywhere in Odoo where you can use templates. You can create a template while you are in the template feature of Odoo. It's in the technical menus. There you can write your template and link it to a model, and then it will be available from that model on. So for marketing automation, I don't know like this, but if it's possible to use templates, then of course it will be available there as well. Then is there payroll localization for the UK? We would have to check that. I have to ask, can we share our screen maybe? Yeah. Okay, then maybe we can check for the UK. So an easy way to look at it and to discover that, I will have to go in a database.
So here,
here. An easy way to look for localizations, it's to type L10N, then search. You remove the filter apps, and then you go right away to the human resources filter. And here you've got a full list of supported countries. Now be careful, it's not because there is a module over there that this module is actually fully compliant or complete. As we explained, for payroll, we are continuously building and adding new stuff to these localizations, thanks to you guys, of course. We listen a lot to your feedbacks. For some countries, we work with the authorities or organism that will certify your payroll software. So in that case, it's easier to be sure that it's compliant and that we cover all the use cases. But what I suggest always, if you want to start using the payroll, it's to first look, is there any localization available? So here the question was about the UK. I don't think there is one available here, no. I do think this is something we want to do, of course, in the coming versions. Here I don't see it yet. But yeah, it doesn't mean that you cannot do it. We have a small class dedicated to payroll now for partners. So if you want to build your own module, you could also subscribe to this, or either you wait until we are fully compliant. And again, there is the last solution that you can always use, is to continue working with your external payroll provider and hand over all the required information they need to compute your pay. I think we can go back to the questions here. So for the time off, do residual time of days for previous clear off automatically at the end of the year? You want to answer that one?
Yeah, sure. So actually that depends on how you set it up. You can set it up so that it goes forward to the next year, or it expires at the end of the year. If it's a normal allocation, then you simply have the end date for the allocation. If it's an accrual allocation, then you can decide if you want to move forward a number of days, or all of the days that you have that the employee has remaining, or none of them at all to the end of the year.
Yeah, indeed. So yeah, maybe we can have a look quickly. I don't know, here. Yeah, so here what you were saying, Hannah, is that if you go to the time of application, you can have the accrual plans here.
Yes.
So here, I think we've added also some stuff here, maybe some explanations and tooltips that are now available. For instance, here, I can now see some tooltips that will explain me. We didn't show that, but now since you asked the question, we can show that. So you have more information about how it works. And as you can see here, this is the option you're talking about, I guess. It's the carry over. So you can specify what is carried over, but that's only when you use the accrual plans. Yeah. And then the other one you were talking about was here in the allocation section. As we saw earlier, it's possible to use validity end date here in this case. And so as we saw while we were doing the webinar, Odoo updates it automatically when you archive an employee now. But you could also decide to update this validity date yourself on the allocation whenever needed. So I think this answers completely your needs and the question. Does Odoo offer a payroll consultancy service? Well, yes and no. It depends what you mean by payroll consultancy service. What we will not do is to provide you let's say, so you hand over, you outsource your own payroll to Odoo, and we handle the payroll for you. So this is not something we do. But as I said, we recently launched Payroll Smart Class, and I think this can more or less answer the need about what can I do if I want to use payroll at its full potential for my own company, for my own use case. So the Smart Class is about learning the theory, doing some exercises with the consultants, and also at the end of the Smart Class, maybe why not start to work together if you're interested on developing a localization for your own country or for yourself, for your own company. Of course, it requires a lot of knowledge. That's what we also internally sometimes lack a bit. It's the full knowledge of payroll, because it's quite a complex topic. Will there be a payroll system available for Malta in the future? You want to answer, or do I answer it?
I think you can answer that.
Okay. It's exactly the same as I said before. So the focus now on the roadmap is that we will start with our local offices to make sure that we have a localization in these countries. And then why not exceptionally add some other localizations, but then I think we will prioritize with localizations where we are sure that there is maybe a certified or a certifier, someone that can certify our software, because in this case they give us and they provide us also all the legal documentation we have to comply to. But again, I don't know how complex payroll is in Malta, and maybe our payroll engine is already powerful enough to support the computation of payroll in Malta. So for that, again, if you're interested, don't hesitate to contact our sales advisors. They will be able to first qualify your needs and then propose you the best solution in order to see how we can help you with it. Social balance. So this is a Belgian question. The next one, does Odoo have the possibility to integrate government reporting, social balance, federal learning account reporting to Flemish government? For the social balance, we have already one report that is available in Odoo. I don't think we have the exchange of the social balance automatically, but we can at least generate the report. And for the federal learning account, I don't think we have that. The simple reason for that is that we don't use it internally. So since we didn't have that need, we didn't develop it yet. But for Belgium, what is for sure is that we continue developing the localization, and we want to extend also to other sectorial requirements. So stay tuned, and maybe in the future we'll have them. What is the essence of linking employees to users?
Right, so employees are linked to users. Mainly, the main idea behind it is that you have an employee who's working in the company. If they have a user as well, you need to be identifying which employee this user is linked to. So if I log into my database and I apply for a time off, the time off needs an employee to be there. So for all of the HR applications and a lot of the other applications as well, I need to have an employee. So when my user is linked to the employee, that makes the whole process a lot easier.
Yeah. So it's not an obligation to have a user for an employee. You could, as an HR officer, handle the time off of your employees without having a user for them. But of course, it's they need a user to be able to do it themselves. Let's say. Then will there be possibility to have field service open to assign job to subcontractors, non-employees as technicians? I'm not sure this is really a question for us on that topic. I think the question is about in the field service app, is it possible to assign a task for someone who is not an employee or who is not, let's say, a user, maybe? And if I'm not mistaken, but we can check that, I think on the tasks, but I'm not sure we have the project app. It's here. On tasks, let's check. These seem to be users only, right? Yeah, it's users. Yeah, so in this case, you're limited, and I don't think we plan to change that very soon, but it's a good question. I think we used to have that feedback already in the past, and we didn't change it yet. So I don't know in the future what will happen, but maybe if there is another webinar about the service scope, service application, they will probably know better than us what's going to happen. But for now, it's not possible. For salary attachments, can the salary advance be requested for and approved within Odoo? You want to answer that one, or I'll go for it?
Yeah, so for salary, the salary advance, by standard, it's not a feature that we have to apply or request for the salary advance and approve it within Odoo. But one of the workarounds that can be used is, of course, our approvals application. So we can create an approval type for it, and then the employee can request for the salary advance, and it will go to the responsible HR or their manager, whoever it is, to be able to approve it.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think that this is a good way to proceed for salary attachment. I'm not sure if it's the first case we received that request. I didn't check all the pipe of the R&D, but I think in some other countries, I don't know in which, or don't remember, maybe you told us already, Liliane, but I don't remember where you're from, but it's to check whether it's a local use case or if it's a generic one, and then maybe we could have this as an addition in the future. Then, can we automatically add documents to the candidate profile? I'm not sure if I get the question. Do you understand it?
Not entirely. I mean, automatically adding documents, what comes to mind is the payslip. So when you confirm the payslip for the employee, the document, the printout of the payslip automatically goes there. Other documents, I don't really know what other documents would be automatically generated.
They are talking about candidate profiles. So maybe when you apply, is it possible to also add other kind of documents? And yes, that's possible if you add a new field, for instance, and you add it on your website form, and then you could collect these kind of documents directly from the website form. So I think yes, but if you want, maybe you can precise the question. How do you progress with the new recruitment? How do you progress with the new recruitment? I mean, if it's about stages in the recruitment app?
I guess so.
Okay.
I mean, for the recruitment application, of course, for each job position, you can create the different stages. And then when you're hiring an employee, you can move them through the different stages so that basically whenever a specific milestone is reached, you can move them through the stages.
Yeah, so for instance, you could say it goes from first interview to second interview. If you're using Studio, you could also use some automations if you like. Also in the recruitment process, we didn't show everything, but it's possible to have emails being sent automatically when you reach a certain stage. And we didn't show it neither, but the stages of the recruitment process are common to all of your job positions, except if you want to specify that you need an extra column somewhere in your flow. I hope this answers the question. If not, don't hesitate to tell us. And I think we are getting to the end of the talk, because I think this is the last question for now. And I think we already answered how to look for it. So will payroll be localized for South Africa? You can check yourself, as we showed previously. Is there a localization available? Is it complete? Test it in a test database. Check what is already available in it. Don't hesitate to create payslips to see how it works, and then decide if you need to add some things on top of it, or if you feel like it's already good enough. And if you want more information, don't hesitate again to contact our sales advisors. I see two more questions. Yes. Can the payslips be sent out email to employees as a batch? You want to answer that one? I'm not sure we need that, basically.
Yeah, so you can go ahead.
Yeah, why I think we don't need that is because there is an integration, native integration between the documents application of Odoo and the payroll application that makes sure that as soon as the payslip is generated, it's automatically added to the documents application, and it's directly visible for, I'm not sure if we have that in our database here, but we can maybe go. If I go here on the My Profile, I can see all the documents that are linked to me, but here I
Yeah.
don't have any
So I
documents
think
yet.
for Marc Dumont we have one.
But I don't see. You think we have one for Mark? Yeah, here.
We created the payslip for him earlier.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if it was
we don't have
already
the, documents,
sent, and we don't have the document
Mhm.
application. But
But
basically, it's there, so it's gonna be automatically linked to your profile here. So you, as an employee, will be able to retrieve it from a smart button that is here.
yeah,
And that's the first thing. And also, they get an email once
Yeah.
once the payslip is computed. Sorry, they get an email that they can go to their own portal and see their payslips.
yeah, and of course, if we want to create an email template that sends out the payslip as well, we can create one,
could,
and then we
mhm.
can
Yeah,
send it out. from
different
here.
options, but let's say it's natively supported.
Mhm.
And then portal my account. So please
So-
could have only portal access and see vacation days. Oops.
Oh.
Oh, what did I do? Let me go back here. Oh, I lost it.
So I think the question was talking about
Yeah, I lost.
the portal access for employees.
Yes.
So
I'm not sure we will be able to go back to the questions right away. So it's gonna be the last answer we give.
yeah.
So for that, I let you continue.
Yeah, so portal access for employees. Employees can have access to the portal, but they won't be able to see their vacation days. So the portal on Odoo is really more for customers and not necessarily for employees. So they won't be able to see like the balance for their vacation days. There were a few other things that were in the question as
Yeah, I
well,
think there were multiple things mentioned,
Mhm.
but here indeed you can go to the portal view.
Yeah.
If you go there, and then from the portal view you can see some stuff as a customer or even as a user of the database, but it's
Mhm.
not planned for now, at least to go for a portal to handle employees, time off, that kind of things. Again, if you're interested, if you have maybe the use case where you have many employees and you don't want to have a user for all of them,
Yeah.
just contact our sales advisors, because I think they can find other solutions together with you. So it's just to discuss.
Mhm.
So I think we will wrap up for today. Thank you again, Rana. Thank you
so
guys
much.
for joining us today. It was really a pleasure, and we are looking forward to see you next, maybe at Odoo Experience or
Yep.
maybe earlier. Let's see. Thank you guys. Bye.